Today we are beginning lesson 8.7, solving one-step inequalities. This was introduced to us in chapter 6, reinforced to us in chapter 7, and I actually went over it yesterday. So your warm-up is going to be on page 635. I want you to complete that warm-up. So it says, write an inequality that compares the number of home runs Nate hits to the number of home runs Josh hits. So what's our inequality then, Lucy? 15 is greater than 12. Excellent, because we look back and Nate hit 15, but Josh only hit 12. Would it have worked if I said 12 is greater than 15? No. Learn which number is bigger. Next, Anita, write an inequality that compares the number of home runs James hit to the number of home runs Mark hit. What'd you get? Perfect. 19 is less than 22. Great job. Suppose James and Mark each hit 3 more home runs. Write a new inequality that compares the number of home runs James and Mark hit. So how many did James hit first? How much did he hit, Malia? 19. So 3 more makes it 22. And Mark, he hit now 25. It's our same thing. We just went up both sides by 3. So we just went up both sides by 3. If we did this, remember, by going up in our output, it would have been 3x as our slope. Doesn't matter. Now, here's inequalities. We went over this, so you don't necessarily have to take your notes. When we've got x is bigger than a number, it's all values over the number. When it's below, it's below. However, when it's got the equal sign, it's also including. In your notebook, I want you to solve x plus 7 is greater than or equal to 10. And then I want you to graph it on a number line. And you need to show your work. At the bottom it says show work. That means we do the same to both sides. Remember, I want you to show that. We do the same to both sides. So Elsie, what is x? X is going to be equal to 3 or more. So when we solve this, we subtract 7 from each side. That's showing our work. We're isolating that x. We get rid of it. We get x is greater than or equal to 3. Is our dot going to be closed or open? If you think it's closed, put your hand with your fingers tight together. If you think it's open, put your hands with your fingers open. It is closed. You guys are correct. So where we close it at that 3. We close it at that 3 because that's where it's equal to. And now x is greater than. Do we go to the left or do we go to the right? Right, because it's bigger than. Excellent. That's as easy as this. For this one, because I don't want to spend too much time on it, what we do is we add 3 to each side. We get x is less than 12. Is this an open dot or a closed dot? Show me. Open fingers for open dot, closed fingers for closed dot. Open fingers, yes, because it is an open dot on 12. And since it's less than, we go that way. Since it's less than, we go that way. It is always an open dot if it is just a less than or a greater than. It is a closed dot if it is a less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. Here's a harder one. Solve 5x is less than or equal to 45 by showing your work, and then graph it on the number line. Oswaldo, how do I solve this? Excellent, because it's 5x, which means multiply. So I do the opposite, divide each side by 5. That goes away. I get x is less than or equal to 9. Is it a closed dot, Oswaldo, or an open dot? Closed. So I go to that 9. I close my dot. And now which way do I go, left or right? Left, because x is less. So it's all numbers less than 9. What about this one? Who can tell me what I do for this one? It's very similar to the last one. Fernando. Oswaldo, what did you do? Yeah, we multiplied by 8. Exactly. So then you did 24 on the number line. Open or closed dot? Open. And x is greater than, so which way are we coloring in, Adriana?
Left.
If x is greater than, we go to the... Now, Go to page 636, 637, and do A, B, C, and D. Andrew, what did you do for the first one?
Minus 2 from both sides, and I crossed out 2.
Perfect. He subtracted 2 from each side. He crossed off that 2. And what is 5 minus 2, Andrew? 3. Am I getting a closed dot or am I getting an open dot? Closed, because it's got that less than or equal to. And which way do I go? To the left or right? Yeah, left. Okay, Matthew, what about number 2? First things first, what's my first step by showing work? So I do plus 3. Do I only do it to one side, Matthew? No, I do it to both. That cancels out. I get y is greater than 9 plus 3 is 12. Matthew, is this going to be an open dot or a closed dot? Open dot, exactly. And then which direction am I going to go? Left? No, because y is greater than 12. So I go to the right. The number's greater. What about this one? Carmen.
Add 10.
You're close. So this is 10 times. So what do I do, Rocco? Perfect. I divide by 10 on each side. I get x is less than 8. Carmen, is it an open dot or a closed dot? Open. At 8, it's open, and I'm going this way because my x is less. Last one, Elsie. Elsie asked, why is the dot on 8 instead of 7? Because 7 is less than 8. The dot is an open dot. It means it includes every number except for this 8 right here. But it includes every number up to it. So for example, 7.9 forever is still less than 8. So I have to get as close to 8 as possible, that open dot, and every number behind that. Every number behind that. So the answer is x is less than 8, which gives us an open dot on 8, and then we color in the correct side. Adriana pointed out, whenever our variable is less than the number, we go left. When our variable is greater than the number, we go right. So, number D, letter D. Who wants to solve that? Michelle. So x over 6 already means x divided by 6. Perfect. So we did times 6 on each side. Those cancel out. And what do I get? X is greater than or equal to 42. Is it an open dot, Michelle, or closed? Because it includes that 42. Because it can be equal to. And now that our x is greater than our number, we go to the right. Because our x is greater than the number, we go to the right. Now, this is our guided practice, numbers 1 through 4 on page 638. These we do the same way. So, Hannah, what do I do for number 1?
For number 1, you would add 6 to each side.
Excellent. Add 6 to each side. I get h is greater than or equal to 19. So on my number line, I literally just make, that's a 19, greater than or equal to, means it's a closed dot, and because it's got, I go to the right. Next one, 5y. I'm going to divide by 5 on each side. I get y is greater than 6. On my number line, I just put a 6. It's just greater than, so it's a open dot. Y is greater than, so again, I'm going to color in to the right-hand side. Joanna's parents give her $10 per week for lunch money. So she gets $10 per week for lunch money. She cannot decide whether or not she wants to buy or pack her lunch. A hot lunch at school costs $12. Write and solve an inequality to find the number of times per week she can buy lunch. So she has at most $10. If it's at most, what is my symbol gonna be? If it's at most, what is my symbol gonna be? Do you know, Oswaldo? What's it gonna be, Hannah? It's gonna be, yeah, our symbol is gonna have 10 is greater than or equal to, aka our variable is gonna be less than or equal to, as Hannah said. And if it costs $2, it's $2 per lunch. We solve it by dividing each side by 2, just like we did for number 2. We get x is less than or equal to 5. This is the same as I said 5 is greater than or equal to x. Those two are the exact same thing. Exact same thing. Next, Tino's Pizza charges $9 for a cheese pizza. Aline has $45 to buy the pizza for Spanish Club. Are we going to have a less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or greater than? What is our sign going to be? She has $45. What is it, Daniel? Yes, less than or equal to, because she can spend $45. She can spend equal to 45. She cannot spend more. And then we have our X, and it costs $9 each. Similar to the one we just did, we divide each side by 9. We get X is less than or equal to 5. Make sure you know the less than or equal to things. Now, our homework is page 639, numbers 1 through 8. However, you do not need to graph 7 and 8. You do not need to graph 7 and 8.